It's an absolutely insane day in the world of Magic the Gathering. There has just been a fat leak of some totally bonkers Lorwyn cards. On top of that, Spider-Man is an absolute failure. The pre-release weekend was a total nightmare.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another glorious installment of Mega Magic News, and we have some big ones to talk about. Lorwyn getting some spoiler leak action. Whoa, what was that? Everything's going crazy up in here. I hope that's not broken. Okay, so Lorwyn is looking fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, I know where you can get some absolutely incredible tokens. Check it out. Take your Magic collection to the next level with Ultra Premium Custom Tokens. Zaximus Studios offers a wide range of gorgeous tokens that are visually striking, feel amazing to the touch, and you can use the backside to track both tapped and untapped tokens. They also have these amazing treasure tokens for when you really want to show off. Grab yours today using the code MYBONESHURT with the link pinned below. So, my friends, there has been a leak, most likely from the upcoming panel that we're going to be getting at the end of the week, showcasing what Wizards of the Coast is going to be doing for the next year. Now, on top of the actual leaks, which we're absolutely going to look at, there are non-card bits of information that tell us some of the sets are coming. Now, take this with a grain of salt because nothing is confirmed, but it's highly likely that you're going to hear all of this on Friday, right? So, starting out with the main sets you can expect, we've got a return to Strixhaven. We already knew about that one. The Marvel set that's coming in 2026 should be a superhero-themed based one. That's my understanding of it. So we should be getting something along the lines of the secret layers that we saw with all of the different superheroes. You've got, actually, speaking of secret layers as well. No, let's stick to the main releases. Let's not get all twisted up. So the next one is in August, and that's supposed to be The Hobbit, okay? Now, there's some really, really strong evidence for this because a couple of days ago, they had a post on Wizards of the Coast's Instagram? Yeah, it was Instagram. That's right. There's so many social media sites that I get them all twisted. So on Instagram, there was a post celebrating Bilbo's birthday. And there was a little video that showed going up to his house on his door, the wizard's mark from The Hobbit when the dwarves actually come to collect him up to be a burglar. So it's distinct from the Lord of the Rings stuff. And Lord of the Rings was Wizards' biggest success ever before Final Fantasy came along. That was a little over 2 years ago. It makes perfect sense that it would be Middle-earth. So buckle up. We're getting Middle-earth most likely. And then the other one is Star Trek. So that's that one, I don't know. Could be Star Trek, could be Star Wars. I'm probably going to be discussing that tonight in a live stream over on my live stream channel where we'll go over all the ridiculous possibilities with that because it's just, I want to talk about all this stuff. So there's a Nickelodeon thing coming. It could be a main release. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles most likely, probably going to be a secret layer. We'll probably also get a K-pop Demon Hunter secret layer because that's the world we're living in, friends. So that's all the stuff that we have. Is that all the sets? Yeah, that is all the rumored sets that we should get confirmed on Friday. And then other than that, when it comes to the leak stuff, it's time to actually take a look at the Lorwyn insanity. And if you're somebody who misses Lorwyn, guess what? It's looking great. We're starting out our leaks today with an old friend from Lorwyn. It's been almost 20 years, but Sig is back. He is now the Wanderwine Wisdom. 1 blue and 1 for a 2/2 merfolk wizard. He can't be blocked. Whenever he enters or transforms into this side, target creature gains. When this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card until end of turn. And at the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 white. If you do, transform Sig. Now, the transformation is going to feel a little bit weird. I want you to take a look at Sig here, see how kind of peaceful he is. If you don't know the background of the character, just to give you a quick history, he was an important figure in the merfolk community on Lorwyn originally. There was a madness that was basically taking over his people, and he went out to try and stop it. He ended up acquiring a magical crescent, which actually got stolen from him. He wasn't able to accomplish his goal, and then the Great Aurora took effect, and all of a sudden, the light, happy nature of Lorwyn turned into the dark, insidious nature of Shadowmoor, and Sig went from a straight up help my people into a straight up rob anybody who comes by. He straight up became a hardcore bandit, and you can see that transformation on multiple magic cards, which is really cool. So this is the finalized version of Sig because the Aurora has ended. Lorwyn no longer goes night, day, night, day, night, day over spans of hundreds of years because that was tied to the fairy Una, and that has changed now, unless Wizards has just decided, you know what, we're going to go with the day-night cycle. But nothing that I've seen from these cards indicate that. So again, take a look at Sig's peaceful face, and I want you to pay attention to his face on the transform side and the color of the card, because it's a little jarring. You have Sig Wanderbrine Shield, right? You look at this artwork and go, this is a white card? This screams black card, does it not, friends? So this is a merfolk rogue. Is he a rogue on the other side? No, he's a wizard on the other side. Interesting. Okay, so Sig can't be blocked. Whenever this creature transforms into Sig Wanderbrine Shield, target creature you control gains protection from each color until your next turn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a blue. If you do, transform Sig. So every turn, you're going to have the ability to flip them back and forth. Bump, 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 bump. Even if you get extra combat phases, this happens just during your first main phase. So you won't be able to transform him multiple times during the turn, but you can do it once every turn. And looking at this, I am genuinely wondering, because I know I said that the Aurora is basically done. I don't know if this is artwork they had for Sig reprints, where they were going to do like the light side of Sig and then the dark side of Sig in a reprint set, and then they scrapped it, and that's why they have this artwork. Or if Lorwyn's actually going to have the light dark vibe now, but in a different way. So it's just going to randomly come into effect. It'll be interesting to see what this means for the lore. But ultimately, an interesting set of abilities. On the blue side, you can make it unblockable and draw cards. It definitely feels blue. On the white side, you can give protection from every color, which is going to make a pseudo progenitus. It's not protection from everything, but it's protection from almost everything. Lands, artifacts, sure, they can still do things. Colorless cards, Eldrazi, sure, but like 95% of Magic cards get shut off by that ability. And that's really strong in a 2-cost creature that you can use. Basically, it's 2 different ways of making your guys unblockable. And you can also, just so you know, use the actual target creature, basically, hey, whenever he hits a person, draw a card, you can use it on Sig, and Sig can't be blocked. So works pretty well that way. Anyways, let us move on to the next leak. We have Figure of Fable. This is a callback to Figure of Destiny, which was a card that came out back in the original Lorwyn era, back in like 2007, 2008. The card was bonkers when it came out, but it was under most people's radars. So it took a little while before people realized, yo, this is bonkers. And this one, it feels even crazier. So it's a hybrid white-green for a 1/1. Pay 1 white or green, it becomes permanently a 2/3 with power and it's a scout with power and toughness 2/3. Then, if it's a scout, you can pay 3, and it becomes a 4/5 soldier. Then, you can pay 6 mana. If it's a soldier, it becomes an avatar with base power and toughness 7/8 and protection from each of your opponents. They just tacked that on there. By the way, if you want to end the game, here's a 7/8 with protection from each of your opponents. I don't know what jumps out at me more. The insanity, the brokenness of that ability, or the goofy onion head on this little Githkin. There's just something about it. Maybe it's the top knot, but it's just a big old bobble-headed onion. I definitely do like the ways that you have the echoes of what she's about to become. Like, from a flavor standpoint, this is rockin', bro. You have your little farmer with her little crooked hoe. I'm just tilling my fields. And then you can see on the side where she's become this, like the scout, she's gone out and become a soldier. All right, I'm a soldier now. And then the final version right there is the I'm an avatar. My lights blaze with insanity. I'm protection from everybody who ain't us. And actually, that does kind of fit with the vibe of the Kithkins on the dark side of Shadowmoor, because if you weren't a Kithkin, they did not trust you at all. I wonder if that's a nod to that or if I'm looking too deep into it. I really liked Lorwyn. I'm really excited about going back. So I'm more interested in what's going on with the story and flavor of this from the cards than I would be from, let's say, for example, I don't know, a Spider-Man set. I don't care about no dude in his tights, bro. Okay, so this is a super powerhouse card, but don't worry, it gets crazier. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. There's the really it gets crazier is after this. This is crazy, but not as crazy as what we're gonna see after this. This is Mutable Explorer. 1 green and 2 for a 1/1 changeling. When it enters, create a tapped Mutavault token. Now this is wild. Mutavault was a huge land in the Lorwyn days. It was a big thing. It's a 2/2 land. Basically, comes into play as a regular land, taps for a colorless mana, or you can pay 1 and turn it into a 2/2 that counts as every creature type for the rest of the turn. End of turn, it goes back to being a land. So you can just basically crank out free Mutavaults. And we know Wizards of the Coast thinks Mutavault is a bigger deal than it is because they led with that in the Edge of Eternity's grand announcement where they went, check it out, we're doing Mutavault. Crickets, bro. The audience didn't make a noise to the point where I was like, is the audience not there? 2 seconds later, he announces the Shocklands. Woo! They're going wild. I'm like, nope. So Mutavault, Wizards doesn't always know. Somehow, doesn't always know when cards have fallen out of favor. This is funky, though. Like, this takes the idea of a 3-mana 1/1 that lets you go through your deck and put a land straight into play, and instead literally generates the land. And the changelings have this special place called Velis Vel where they go and the Mutavault ties into it. So it's cool. And the artwork is funky too. I like this goofy little guy running through the caverns. I'm gonna make you a Mutavault token. Check out my cool little acorn lamp. It's just a fun little vibe, man. Lorwyn is looking like it's gonna be a good time, but it's also gonna be busted. If you think making a Mutavault ain't nothing, well, get a load of these tokens then, son. We got Bitter Bloom Bearer. This is what I was mentioning when I said, wait, it gets crazier. 2 black for a 1/1 flyer with flash, because why not slap flash onto it? 1/1 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life and create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying. It's Bitter Blossom on a creature. And the blue-black tokens, obviously, fairy tokens, work great with creatures like Una and all the original Lorwyn stuff. So, like, on point flavor-wise. Busted. This is busted. 2 black for before my turn, I'll flash him out. Oh, look, I'm making 1/1s. Like, enchantments are harder to get rid of, but they're also harder to get back. If you destroy my Bitter Blossom, getting it back is going to be a challenge. Getting creatures back from the graveyard when you play black is a joke. It's the easiest thing on earth to do. So if they destroy this, they'll have to exile it. Otherwise, you're going to keep bringing it back. So this is insanely powerful. A walking, living, breathing Bitter Blossom. On top of that, the artwork is gorgeous. I love the insectile legs of the fairy folk of Lorwyn. They have a very distinctive vibe. Some of them are inspired by hornets and things like that. And I've never seen the kind of fairies I've seen in Lorwyn anywhere else. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm sure you guys can point out properties where they do. But for me, I've literally never seen that concept done on fairies, and it really does work for me. So this right here, with that fae flowing forward, the hand of blossoms, it's literally harvesting Bitter Blossoms. Like, flavor level off the charts, right? And power level off the charts. The stuff they're doing with this set is absolutely bonkers. I am hyped to see what else we're gonna get for Lorwyn. All right, now that we've gotten the Lorwyn fun out of the way, let's talk about Spider-Man sadness, because Wizards of the Coast must be quite sad. This set is struggling on so many different levels. First of all, just straight up pre-release attendance, right? People were not going to that event. I went out to the pre-release on Friday night. Now, Fridays and Saturdays, trust me, I've run dozens and dozens and dozens of pre-releases over years. For about a 10-year period, I was the guy who was responsible for running all the pre-releases, which meant Friday, Saturday, multiple on Saturday, multiple on Sunday. I don't know if you know what it's like for the people who are running your pre-releases. You might want to go and say thank you, because it is a meat grinder. That used to chew me up. The amount of people, the amount of time, all of it. Well, you don't got to worry about that with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's first pre-release looked like the last pre-release on Sunday. We're talking the dregs, where there's like basically nobody. There wasn't even enough people at the store to fire a pre-release off on the second day at the store I go to. Now, you can find some people saying, my store was able to fire this off, and I got it, like, we even sold out our kits, but it'll be followed up by, we didn't sell it the next day, we didn't sell it the other ones, we're stuck with extra kits. So basically, the pre-release across the board, even the stores that are banger, the numbers really low. We're talking Markov Manor level low, which is really bad when Wizards has to pay a bunch of extra licensing costs, because they pass those costs on to us. They don't go, you know, we should charge the same price. We'll charge way more for a garbage, lazily put together product. So Spider-Man is suffering because it has a million different copies of Spider-Man. It doesn't actually appeal to Spider-Man fans. It wasn't designed to be used for limited formats like a pre-release, any of that. At the last second, they shoved a bunch of stuff into it. If you're wondering why there's hot dog cards and supportive parents and all these like random cards instead of actual Spider-Man characters, it's because at the last second, they ballooned the set out because, okay, we gotta wrap this up before I destroy the whole room, guys. This whole place is coming down. Everybody needs to join my Patreon. I'm gonna be financially devastated by all the crap I'm knocking down over here. Oh, okay, all right, let's focus up. Back to Spider-Man. He's causing disaster in my own home. All right, so Spider-Man problems. We got low attendance. We got pre-release packs with missing rares. We've got light printed cards. We've got dark printed cards. We've got crappy grainy printed cards. The stuff that we are accustomed to. I suppose in Wizards' favor, fewer people went to the pre-releases and opened less of the product. So while there's a bunch of these complaints out there, there's fewer people complaining because fewer people bought the product. Oh, okay. Anyways, they messed up on the French copy of Tangle with the Spider-Man artwork on it. It literally has the name for Ensnare because, I mean, these are both cards that already exist. This is the craziest part. This isn't a new card. How do they keep messing up on copy and paste things where you literally just copy the text and paste it? How do you confuse Tangle and Ensnare? Right? Maybe in French the words are super close. Maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe they're super close and that's why, right? But this is just emblematic of the lack of effort and care and thought they put into it. Imagine this, guys. Imagine you're excited about the Spider-Man pre-release and you head on over to Wizards' website and you're like, whoa, they have a whole article talking about the Spider-Man pre-release. I'm brand new to this game. I'm super excited. Oh, look, you can actually hover over the names of cards and show them. And then you hover over the name of the card and it shows you the non-Spider-Man version, because the way the Gatherer works is it loads the last loaded images in. So it'll always show you the newest printing of a card. If you want a hilarious example of that, there is an old school Magic article from maybe decades ago talking about Teferi and him going through the stages of his life. And it talks about him being like an adult man. And the card that they have on the screen, the newest one, is actually Ultimisia from Final Fantasy. So they show Ultimisia as the fully grown Teferi. I know it's a small thing. But anyways, so what happens is the Arena Beyond Omen Path set, right? That one got shown off after the Spider-Man set. It got put in together after the Spider-Man set, which means if you hover over any of the names from the Spider-Man set, it's going to show you the non-Spider-Man ones. It's just so funny from the perspective of somebody who's new and it's like, okay, wait, why doesn't these show Spider-Mans? It's just amazing. Just amazing. Like, it's not intentional. Bro, another thing they did is hose game stores. If you didn't hear about this, I had an LGS owner tell me, bro, I figured out why the allocations on all my stuff got cut, because this doesn't normally happen. It's because they gave it to Disney. They're selling a bunch of this stuff in actual Disney stores. So they cut allocations to a bunch of LGSs and distributors to hook up Disney. That's the reality. I mean, in one technical way, you can actually go to like Disney World or wherever it is and buy collector booster boxes of Spider-Man at MSRP there. Which, I mean, finding collector boosters at MSRP is usually difficult. The Spider-Man set spiked all the way up to like $1,000 a box and then just started to crash. Blah, 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 hundreds of dollars. Chomp, chomp, chomp. $750, $600. Like, there has been a race to the bottom with this product. Spider-Man has been an absolute failure. There is no question about it. And a more expensive failure than Markov Manor, because Markov Manor was quickly cobbled together and slapped in our faces because they were busy working on all these Universe Beyond sets. If you go and check out what Rosewater has said, it is very clear that with sets like Aether Drift and stuff like that, they spent way less time on it. They spent 5 years on Final Fantasy, 5 minutes on Aether Drift. That's basically the vibe. So, that wraps up the news for today. Like I said, there's some live streams over on my live stream channel. If I didn't mention that somehow, then whatever, I'm mentioning it now. On my live stream channel, if you missed, recently I did a live stream saying my cards were stolen. My Wonder of the First cards got swiped, so that's over there. We got stuff talking about Spider-Man, and if you keep your eyes peeled, you might just see me there tonight. So, thanks for coming by and hearing what I have to say. Big shout out to my patrons. You guys rule. And I will see you all, my friends, in the next video.